Welcome back to BT10 Breakdown, Xros Encounter. Today I'm going over mono blue cards of the BT10 set. And a lot of these cards primarily go with the blue flare team. As always, if you enjoy these types of videos, do consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting that notification bell for more future content. Starting off this video discussion, Digimon. This card has a when attacking effect once per turn if your opponent has 2 or more Digimon in play, draw 1 card. I have mixed feelings about this card. I like it, but I don't like it. It makes me think of Wanyamon from BT1, requiring 2 or more Digimon and having just been in the BT9 format. The Raise meta rarely saw you having more than 1 Digimon on the board at a time, unless you started going wide. Could this card be useful? Maybe. But for now, I'd rather run cards like Upamon with as much of the on-play cards that will see play. Velucomon makes another appearance as a 5000 DP body for blue that has a 2 cost on play or a 2 cost memory Digivolution cost. Late, but why not? Considering red, yellow, and white still don't have memory blockers, and it's been 4 sets since the last one. But I digress. Moving to Gaussmon, this Digimon has a simple on-deletion effect that lets you play 1 level 4 Digimon with blue flare and its traits from your hand, suspended without paying its memory cost. This card will be effective in playing your blue flare cards like Greymon, Decadramon, and Male Birdramon, all of which have on-play effects that I'll go over here in a little bit. The only downside is the Digimon comes out suspended, meaning your opponent can swing over it. But who cares, if you have a Tamer out. For level 4s, there's Greymon, Decadramon, and Male Birdramon. Greymon on play reveals the top 4 cards of your deck. Add 2 cards with blue flare and the traits among them to your hand, and place the remaining cards to the bottom. If Kiriha Aonuma is in play, you may return 1 Metal Greymon from your trash to your hand instead. This creates a conditional effect that is one or the other, meaning you either add the 2 cards, or return the Metal Greymon to your hand assuming Kiriha is out. And of course, on deletion save. Its inheritable also allows you to unsuspend this Digimon when attacking once per turn, if this Digimon has blue flare in its traits, and your opponent has 2 or more Digimon in play. Decadramon also has an on deletion save, but has an on play effect that lets you draw 1. Then, for each of your opponent's Digimon, draw another card. Its inheritable simply provides a DP buff if your opponent has 2 or more Digimon. Overall, I like this card a lot for the ability to net you cards. Finally, Male Birdramon lets you play Kiriha if you don't have one in play, but if you do, you can return 1 Metal Greymon from your trash to your hand. Its inheritable allows you to stun a Digimon for the turn when attacking if your opponent has 2 or more Digimon. Doesn't matter the number of Digivolution sources like Tamihimi. Another interesting effect, because this gives blue a way to stun. Overall, a lot of the level 4s seem interesting at first glance, but this will require significant testing as I haven't played around with any cards yet. But my mind is already thinking of ways to utilize this with Chimeramon. Moving to level 5s, there are 4 level 5s that are purely blue: Thetismon, Metal Greymon, Cyberdramon, and Decker Greymon. Thetismon is the next stage of Tesla Jellymon, and has a fairly standard everything in regard to its on-play cost, Digivolution, and DP. When Digivolving, if you have 6 or less cards in your hand, draw 2. When attacking once per turn, if you have 8 or more cards in your hand, trash 2 cards to unsuspend this Digimon. After seeing Kanaweismon, I feel like Thetismon is just another Tesla Jellymon. Why doesn't this card get jamming, or some form of protection? Feels overall mediocre in comparison. Metal Greymon has Material Save 2, allowing you to place 2 of this Digimon's evolution sources that have its Digimon cross requirements under one of your Tamers, i.e. Savior Greymon and Male Birdramon. On play, this Digimon gets Rush, and then if you Digi-Crossed, you can stun up to 3 of your opponent's Digimon who have less than or equal to Digivolution sources of this Digimon. Basically, you play it for 7, and if you Digi-Cross with Greymon and Male Birdramon, the cost is reduced to 3. And then, you stun your opponent's Digimon that have 2 or less Digivolution sources. The Digi-Cross 2 also lets you utilize the Greymon and Male Birdramon in your hand as resources. Overall, this Digimon gives a lot of value. Cyberdramon lets you place this Digimon under one of your Blue Flare Digimon for 3 memory, and lets you unsuspend it, and for its inheritable all turns, while your opponent has 2 or more Digimon, plus 1000 DP. It's a usable source that can potentially provide you buffs to prevent your Digimon from being deleted. Deca Greymon is the last Digimon that requires Metal Greymon and Decadramon. On play or when Digivolving, you may place one Digimon with Blue Flare in its traits from your hand, or from under your Tamer to the bottom of this Digimon's Digivolution cards. Then, if this Digimon has Decadramon in the sources, stun a Digimon until the end of your opponent's next turn, meaning no attacks and no blocking. Again, Digicross 2 using Metal Greymon and Decadramon. This means that overall the on-play cost would be 5 memory, meaning Memory Boost and Memory Fixers are utilized for this deck. In combination with the other cards shown so far, you can potentially give this Digimon plus 2000 DP on all turns if your opponent has 2 or more Digimon. But I digress as we move to Regalucasmon, another variant that, when attacking, trashes the bottom 2 Digivolution cards of one of your opponent's Digimon. When attacking, if your opponent has a Digimon with no Digivolution sources, you can play 1 level 3 and 1 level 4 Digimon card from this Digimon sources without paying their cost. First, holy crap, this card is amazing in sealed. The cards played don't even have to be blue colored to be pulled out. This card builds wide boards fast enough, and in a sealed setting there's not a whole lot of ways to delete multiple Digimon. But in a competitive setting, the effect itself becomes too situational as it's a conditional BT1 Metal Garurumon. For Tamers, there's Kiriha Aonuma. This Tamer is a memory fixer and also has the ability to place cards from under your Tamers as Digivolution cards when you Digicross. While it does have Taiki Kudo's suspend effect, being a memory fixer gives this card better value in a sealed setting. Finally, option cards in the form of Blazing Memory Boost and Plasma Decadra Launcher. Blazing Memory Boost allows you to reveal the top 6 cards of your deck, add 2 cards with Blue Flare and the traits among them to your hand, and you may play 1 Kiriha without paying its memory cost. In essence, for 5 memory, you can search for potentially 2 Blue Flare cards and play a Tamer for free. Otherwise, it's a simple delay effect of gaining 2 memory. The downside is it garners no value when it's hidden security other than the delayed effect. And last but not least, Plasma Decadra Launcher. This 7-cost option card lets you return one of your opponent's level 6 or higher Digimon to the owner's hand. At first I got excited because 7 cost, meaning that's another Cocytus Breath option, and if they have 2 or more Digimon, it's reduced by 2. But its main effect is kind of bad, for the fact that if you draw the card you can only use it against level 6 or higher Digimon. At least in security it does hit any Digimon, but overall I just felt like the option card was bad. What are your thoughts? Do you think Plasma Decadra Launcher is decent? And what about the rest of the mono blue cards of the set? Let me know your thoughts if you think Blue Flare will be a competitive or if it's gimmicky and not as powerful as the Taiki Shoutmon Crossheart deck. This is Digi-Panda, logging out.